22 cars with the world's best drivers. 17 locations reaching all corners of the world. The most exciting and glamorous sport is back with a vengeance. Formula One returned with one of the most sensational seasons yet. The closest championship for 21 years will keep everyone guessing until the final checkered flag falls in Brazil.
I think I saw Lewis Hamilton on there. Have you heard of him?
Great job, Fernando. I'm so pleased for you.
Turn 1 is a swimming pool.
I'm not completely comfortable with the outcome.
Stick that.
Let me go through.
Have you seen the accident on TV?
Well, yeah, I have seen it also live when I was there.
How do you forget to put fuel in the car?
Because without him, this wouldn't be possible.
The sunshine, smiles and clear blue skies can mean only one thing. It's Melbourne, round one of the 2007 Formula One World Championship. Two times world champion Fernando Alonso is committed to carry on his winning ways with new team McLaren. GP2 title holder Lewis Hamilton hopes to be his biggest challenge yet. Whether he will be content to play second fiddle waits to be seen. F1's nearly man Giancarlo Fisichella hopes to shine and lead Renault in the post-Alonso era. But he'll first have to beat rookie teammate and former Renault test driver Heikki Kovalainen. Felipe Massa learnt a lot as Michael Schumacher's teammate. Can he take it to the next level? Kimi Raikkonen wants to drive fast, no question. Will his no-nonsense attitude put him in pole position for the title with Ferrari? One victory is not enough for Jenson Button, but has he got the car for success this year? Rubens Barrichello's first year at Honda proved to be a struggle, but he remains positive on what the new season can offer. BMW Sauber's first podium came courtesy of Nick Heidfeld. He hopes to make it a regular occurrence this year. Robert Kubica had a dazzling debut as Villeneuve's replacement at the end of 2006. Can he live up to his reputation? 2007 could be Ralf Schumacher's last chance to prove himself at Toyota. Jarno Trulli signed up for the long term. Can the team use their budget and finally produce the goods? He might be labelled F1's elder statesman, but David Coulthard's Monaco podium proved he still has what it takes. Webber had a difficult time at Williams, but hopes for bigger things at Red Bull with Adrian Newey on board. Nico Rosberg needs better reliability from Williams if he's to show his potential. Alex Wurz hopes that 6 years in the testing wilderness will pay off on his return to full-time racing. Toro Rosso were in no rush to confirm their drivers. Tonio Liuzzi has the swagger, but has he got what it takes? Scott Speed will be under huge pressure to live up to his name. Literally. Adrian Sutil is a highly regarded addition to the team formerly known as Midland. Proving his F1 credentials will be crucial to Christian Albers if he's to remain in the sport. Sato showed a new maturity on his return to F1 with Super Aguri. This year he has a point to make. His former F3 teammate Anthony Davidson finally gets a race seat after 6 years of testing. All eyes are on the 22 drivers who will make 2007 one of the most unpredictable seasons yet. The first qualifying session of the year does not go to plan for Felipe Massa as his gearbox lets him down. He will start 22nd in last place. Lewis Hamilton will make his Formula One debut from an excellent 4th on the grid. It was Kimi Raikkonen who went straight to pole position on his maiden outing for Ferrari, while Alonso kicks off his McLaren career on the front row next to him. But the biggest celebrations were at Super Aguri. They kicked up the biggest surprise by lining up a fantastic 10th and 11th for the race.
Hello, I am Takuma Sato. This is a lap of the qualify in Australia Grand Prix. This is a lap of qualifying 3 in the Australia Grand Prix, and this was a very, very special day for us Super Aguri. The first time break into the Q2 and Q3. Into the turn 1, it's strange to see it because obviously we are following the somebody, because it's Q3. It's more or less like a racing rather than qualify in the first part of the session. But this is for us, it's a very new experience, and going to these little corners, you actually crossing gap to the front of cars. Difficult to get because of understeer is following somebody. This right-hand corner, high speed, is a quite little commitment corner, and I really like it. Braking to here, it's a little bumpy against a little understeer here, but it actually has got a good balance of the car. It's nice and stable. You don't really communicate with the radio, over the radio team at the moment, because you're concentrating on the qualify. But knowing that heavy fuel on board with quite old tire, knowing that getting new tires, you need to feel the car more. And these high-speed section, again, it's nice corners down to the 5th gear and putting 3.5 to 4 Gs. And again, the car's quite stable. I'm happy with the balance. And unfortunately, this wasn't really quickest lap for me, because the Q2 you need new tire with low fuel this season. But still, I was very happy with. And again, this long right-hand corner, braking to the very last section. And again, I think we are queuing up to the 3-4 cars. It's a bit like racing, but I was very happy. And we finishing the lap with a very special day for us. We knew we were going to be stronger than last year, wanted to be competitive, you know, as we wanted, but to be honest, never expect to go straight into top 10. And of course, it was with a little bit luck, you know, some other team has got problems, that's why we going to the top 10. But even so, we were there with a pace, and I was certainly very happy with the team and very proud of it.
The party atmosphere of the season opener attracts as much attention as ever. Even some well-known faces drop by to provide some glamour and to experience the action. But the attention quickly diverts to the cars lining up on the grid to fire up the 2007 Formula One World Championship. Ferrari and McLaren hope to take on reigning champions Renault. Hamilton makes a reasonable start, but he's quickly overwhelmed by Kubica. Robert is on the defensive, so Lewis changes tack. A quick dart to the left gives him the jump on Robert and McLaren teammate Fernando Alonso. Raikkonen leads Heidfeld, Hamilton and Alonso, but Fernando won't want to let the new boy take the glory. Excellent qualifying helps Sato challenge Trulli's 9th place. But teammate Anthony Davidson's start line setback leaves him on a collision course with Adrian Sutil's Spiker. It's a poor start for the Dutch team. A momentary lapse of concentration leaves Christian Albers in the gravel and out of the race. BMW Sauber expected a safety car at the start and Heidfeld pits early, but his risky strategy hasn't quite played out as planned. And things aren't working out too well at Honda. Barrichello is losing time thanks to teammate Jenson Button. He eventually gets past, but he's got ground to make up in the battle for 13th. And a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane won't help Button's cause. Now Massa pushes Jensen further down the order. It's not the start that Nick Fry was looking for. Hamilton is third, but Alonso's keeping a watchful eye on his teammate. Can he get the jump in the pit stops? Alonso has stopped. Now Hamilton is in. His first Formula One pit stop looks good. The shorter stop ensures he retains the advantage over Fernando. For now, at least. But Scott's speed is in trouble.
I had a tire failure. Tire went flat. Tire failure off the track.
While a gearbox issue leaves Kubica parking up in the garage. Ferrari started with one car at the back and one at the front. Now Raikkonen laps Massa. The team had hoped for a 1-2 finish. Kovalainen has had a troublesome debut. He recovers, but hands Massa 8th on a plate. Alonso stayed out 2 laps longer than Hamilton. And his patience pays off. Could Raikkonen be losing his focus alone at the front? Kovalainen definitely needs to keep his eye on the track. While Sato will be glad to pull away from Wirtz and Coulthard when an over-ambitious move from DC nearly ends in disaster. Coulthard's car was just centimetres from Wirtz's head. Felipe Massa has done a great job. He started 22nd, now he's chasing Fisichella for 5th. But time is running out. It's Kimi Raikkonen who wins the first race of the season. With Fernando Alonso 7 seconds behind. And Lewis Hamilton puts in the best performance from a rookie driver since 1996.
Great job, Kimi, great job. Perfect race. We said yesterday was a perfect start to the season, and this is the perfect next step. Fantastic job. Well done.
Alonso is thrilled to finish second on his debut for McLaren, but the maximum points go to former McLaren driver Kimi Raikkonen on his first outing for Ferrari. Melbourne proved to be a disappointing start for Honda and Red Bull. Massa did well to finish 6th with Rosberg 7th. It's been a while since the Finnish anthem was played out on the podium, but Kimi's glad to be back.
No, it's the best possible start, but it's a long season, many races to go, so okay, couldn't start any better. The team worked very well and we had a good race. Not the ideal weekend for the team. With the Felipe had a problem yesterday, but I think so it's a good place to start, and we just need to keep working hard and push hard and try to win more races.
After we saw in winter testing, it's a nice surprise that we were not so far out, and I think there are more new pieces coming to the car, and we keep learning about the Bridgestone tires, drivers. So at least myself, we will improve how to drive these tires. So I hope soon we will fight with them.
But what happened at the start?
You know, it was a very strange start. I saw Nick Heidfeld coming alongside, so I was concentrating on Nick fight, and probably I forgot the reference braking point, so I braked too early, and Luis overtook me very easy.
Overtaking the reigning champion at the first attempt. Good going.
I'm extremely happy. I hope my family back at home, I know they're all sitting there and stayed up to watch it. I hope you're all well, and look forward to seeing you. But I'm overwhelmed and ecstatic, and you know, really to come across the line in third. It's a great start for me, great start for the team. You know, we've got some good points in the bag, and I'm looking forward to the next race.
Raikkonen may have had the upper hand in Melbourne, but the two McLaren drivers will be hot on his heels in Malaysia. "30 years in the sport have brought much success to the Formula One team founded by Sir Frank Williams and Patrick Head. 7 drivers' titles, 9 constructors' trophies, and 113 wins made the team a formidable force. Jones, Rosberg, Piquet, Mansell, Prost, Hill and Villeneuve all won titles with the team in the 80s and 90s. But there has been a huge slump in results in recent times.
Last year was just awful. I mean, none of us could go through that again, but it was self-inflicted, but it was truly awful. I mean, we got the same number of points between 2 cars as we did in 1 car with very much less races in 1978, our first year of producing our own car. I mean, it couldn't have been worse.
But over the years, there have been lots of good memories.
But I'm sure we can go to 300 anyway. I don't know if I can reach myself 200, but...
We used to have lots of fun with Nelson Piquet because he was a great prankster. And we had one guy on our test team at that time who worked for us, who was a great prankster. And the two of them used to get up to extraordinary things, like I remember Nelson's windscreen washer being wired so that the pipe for the water came up the steering column, so that the moment he turned on the ignition, it covered him with water. And sort of then Nelson responded by sticking the shoes of this particular person on the side of the truck, sort of near the top, with super glue on the side of the truck. And then it went, like all these things, it went too far eventually, and that Nelson's very expensive Gucci shoes got filled up with Swarthega.
How would he reflect on his time with Williams?
I've had some brilliant times and worked with and alongside some wonderful people, and have met some wonderful people. So I've had a brilliant career in something that I was expecting to do for 6 months to earn a bit of money to go off and do some sailing 30-something years ago, and here I am still.
But what about the new generation of drivers, Nico Rosberg and Alex Wurz?
There's very impressive people working at this team who have a lot of... I wasn't saying you, I was saying people working at this team, as in engineers and things like that. Frank, for example, he's very quick living. He can change his opinion very, very quickly, which is something you have to get used to also. He has a lot of experience and everything, and it's quite fascinating sometimes the way he goes about things and everything. It can really be interesting. And the same with Patrick, although Patrick, I think, has changed a little bit over the years, because what I heard was a fair bit worse than what it actually is now. So no, but otherwise it's good fun.
Yeah, I mean, I came from McLaren, obviously also a British World Championship team, but with very different characters in the top. Then you come to Williams, and we talk from Sir Frank Williams himself as of course to everyone, he's a real special guy. You know, the aura around him when you talk to him is just something completely electrifying. Really, it is. You know, it's special, and the same is for Patrick. You know, I've known these names and figures since my childhood. Since you know, you watch Formula 1, you go karting, you go up in Formula 3, and suddenly you're there with the big.
So when
names.
is that? The 1970s or what?
No, 60s, 60s.
60s.
Yeah, actually. Or 50s. When was it? Kennedy was still alive.
Which driver stands out most for Sir Frank Williams?
Alan Jones started us winning. Prost was the most skillful driver. Keke the most spectacular. Nigel stands out because there was just nothing would stop him. Ayrton the best of the lot. I saw very little of him, sadly. Great memories of all these very different types of people.
If you think about it, that you're sitting in Ayrton Senna's seat, or he used to have this seat in a way, you know, that's pretty special in a way. And also, well, for me, of course, the history is in the team, really, with my father having raced here and everything. So if you do think about it once in a while, it is quite funny, but I don't really think about that too much because it's such a different time and everything, and you don't really go back that far.
And race drivers not made to think. That's.
How did it feel to overtake the team's engine supplier Toyota on track in Australia?
I was shouting in my helmet and everything because I knew that it was either overtaking or not scoring points. So I was well pleased with that, but it had nothing to do with the fact that it was a Toyota or not.
I was shouting too, because someone who made a lunch at me didn't really work out so well. Anyway, different story, different. I went out of turn 1, following and chasing Sato. Being much quicker than him, he held me up. You see me chasing him, being chased by David. And now at the braking point, which is actually far back, you see that David was still too far back. I didn't even defend my line. For me at the time it wasn't really so scary, but now on the onboard you will actually see how close it was. You know, you see David coming in. And as I felt the hit, I decided to take my hands off the steering wheel because I thought, oh, there's something really not right here. And that was actually very lucky because we can see that actually his car just went a millimeter over my steering wheel. So if I would have had my hands there, wouldn't have been that healthy. He takes off the roll hoop on the front of the chassis, and thank God nothing happened. In the end, he apologized for it, and that shows that he is a strong character and he can live with his mistakes, and that's fine. Thing is forgotten and we move on.
Ferrari get their second pole position of the season, this time courtesy of Felipe Massa.
Hello, I'm Felipe Massa, and this is my pole position lap from Malaysian Grand Prix. Okay, so here we are, taking a good line to start the lap, and then putting up the engine, you know, into the limit, over revs, to the end of the straight in 7th gears. And then braking for the first corner in 2nd gear, trying to have a good line for the 2nd corner, which is quite difficult. In 2nd gear always, trying to have a good acceleration, a good traction, going into 6th gear by the end of the straight in turn 4, and then having a strong braking, going to 2nd gear again, taking the good line, having a good exit, and then going to turn 5, which is a very quick corners, flat out, turn 6 as well. That was a good lap and a good corner. Going to turn 7, which is a very understeer corner. You have 2 corners in a row, 7 and 8. And then now is turn 9, which is a big braking, 2nd gear, very trick corner as well for acceleration. And then going the difficult braking on lateral for turn 11, trying to go in the curb, and then turn 12, flat out, the good corner as well, and then going to turn 14, very difficult, oversteer, braking, and then going to the back straight, pulling up the gears, 5th, 6th and 7th, and then trying to have a good speed, working on the brake balance, to have a good braking as well for the last corner, finding a good line, and then having a fantastic end of the lap with the pole position is the best we can achieve. So really proud of that.
The searing heat of Sepang will provide the ultimate challenge for the drivers and their cars. Massa's poor start makes it easy for Alonso. Raikkonen gets a look, but it's Hamilton that takes the position, and Massa's too. The BMW Saubers get too close for comfort. Raikkonen is fourth and struggling to keep up with the leaders. A suspension problem for Sutil catches Button off guard, leaving the Spiker in the gravel. Kovalainen overtakes Webber for 10th. Davidson makes a move on speed, but Liuzzi runs into the rear of his teammate. Now Sato puts a move on Liuzzi. But the Toro Rosso is headed to the pits for a new nose cone. Massa looks to make amends. He's got the speed. But he needs to keep it on track and instead has to fend off his teammate. Massa gets round Hamilton, but compromises his race with a trip into the gravel. That leaves Raikkonen chasing the McLaren. He piles on the pressure, but Hamilton retains his composure. Things aren't so relaxed at Honda, as Barrichello steals a lowly 17th place from Button, despite starting in the pits. Wirtz lost out in qualifying, now he makes light work of speed for 14th. But it's a fiery end for Albers. Both Spiker cars are out after only a few laps. Robert Kubica collided with Heidfeld at the start and damaged his aerodynamics. And who knows what's going on with this pit stop? Back on track, Wirtz is hounding David Coulthard. But unlike Melbourne, both cars survived the experience. Massa has put himself out of contention, so it's down to Raikkonen to salvage something for Ferrari. This battle has helped Alonso build up a good lead before his first pit stop. But will he know when to come in? He's lost radio contact. The communication problems don't seem to have troubled the leader. He's in for his first stop with a sizable advantage, even if they do have to resort to sign language. But David Coulthard has more to worry about.
Okay, brake pedals touching steering column. Brake pedal and steering column. Okay, I'm not comfortable, guys. I think we should retire the car. Understood.
Things aren't going well for Red Bull's sister team either. Scott Speed is struggling.
My braking foot feels like it's on fire. So hot.
Heidfeld escaped damage from his inter-team squabble and is currently running fourth. There are no delays for him. He rejoins and holds on to fourth ahead of Massa. Rosberg has never scored points in Malaysia. And a progressive loss of water pressure ensures he fails to this year. Kubica's disastrous day continues. He gets a grip on the situation, but now he's only 18th. Fernando's race wasn't an easy one, but you couldn't have guessed. The two-times world champion takes his first win of the season and his first as a McLaren Mercedes driver. And he gets some well-deserved praise from boss Ron Dennis.
Great job, Fernando. I'm so pleased for you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. It's been a tough weekend for everybody.
Lewis was P2, so he took a few valuable points from yours truly.
Fantastic, fantastic. You deserve it, guys. Fantastic.
After a winless 2006, McLaren returned to form, and Alonso now leads the Drivers'